Yo, what's up, fam? We're going to talk about this beef, this war, so to speak, between the Black Americans and the Caribbeans or the Jamaicans, which is, is new to some of us, who didn't know we was at war, but apparently there's been a war brewing this whole time, but just my personal experience, because at one point there wasn't a lot of Jamaicans or Caribbeans over here in mass numbers. I mean, they always been over here. They always been over here, but so at a certain point, y'all started to come over, in mass numbers. Okay, but okay, I'm gonna give my experience from a person that, I had my eyes open and my heart open, because I came from a organization that I was in at that time. It was a spiritual organization that taught that, so-called Black Americans and so-called Caribbean and Jamaicans and so forth, are actually the same people, just different tribes. So that's how, I looked at y'all and we embraced y'all, just like brothers and sisters from, a different place. And some of y'all did the same thing, embraced us back. So we were like brothers and sisters. No apparent strife or, rifts or anything like that. We were actually building together as one, all throughout America. So this is, in essence, something new on this level. So that's a fair assessment right there. Now for the other Jamaicans or Caribbeans, which me personally, I happen to be fond of Jamaican music, which I'm gonna do a whole separate video on that. Okay. And I'm gonna do it because the origins actually stem from Black Americans. So I'm really fond of certain Jamaican music. Okay, I'm not gonna say all. Or Caribbean music. I'm just the islands. And I'm very, very fond of Caribbean food, meaning I really love it. So, not in too much of a distant past, before there were mass numbers of so-called, Caribbeans over here, Jamaicans and so forth. I'm talking about in mass numbers. Y'all had a reputation, especially the women. When you go into a Jamaican or Caribbean restaurant, which I just told you I was very fond and still am very fond of the food. But what did we have to endure? In order to get that delicious food, we had to endure, so-called Black Americans had to endure the stankiest, nastiest, shittiest attitudes that they can possibly muster up from their gut to serve us. And we just, I just chalked it up as, I know you come from a hard life. So be it. Just give me the food. Because what came with that with that nasty, stinky, shitty ass attitude was the look that they wore. You know, that didn't help your looks. Okay. You know, there was a place called Johnny Pastrami, still out there, I think in LA. Well, I know it is, but there was one where it started. You know, in one location in South Central, and it was on a corner. It wasn't really on a corner, but it was literally like in a dark space on a street where you could get jacked. And people came from all over the place, and people that had money too, to come to that dark place to get those pastrami sandwiches. And I'm not gonna say they were the owners. They weren't the owners, but who was serving in that particular location at that time were like some Jamaican girls. Jamaican girls, man. And we wanted them pastrami sandwiches, because that's how good they were. And they would dip them and all that. In order to get them pastrami sandwiches, you had to go through the nastiest, shittiest, dirtiest attitudes, like they did not want you to be there. Like, we giving y'all money. How y'all act like so that was just the reputation. You know, we were Yankee, you know, and Jamaicans, you know, they helped to flavor up hip-hop. You did. You came over with your certain vibration and helped to flavor it up. And the women introduced the hip grinding and twerking and all that. So they brought that perversion into hip-hop. You want a contribution. But Jamaicans definitely added the flavor. Not the flavor, but, you know, added flavor and, you know, to hip-hop, but definitely didn't start it. How y'all gonna? But guess what? I mean, in all actuality, the origins, I'm more of an indigenous perspective person, because, you know, I'm coming from the perspective that it is true. The indigenous Jamaicans, Caribbeans and all that, and so-called blacks are all the same people, just literally different tribes. And when you talk about slave trade, you were being traded and shipped throughout the Americas. You were being shipped from North America to Jamaica, for instance, the Pequot Indians, because y'all was so wild and rebellious. But here's the deal. Jamaicans, y'all been infiltrated by Africans. I believe that's one reason y'all acting so wild today and coming up against us, the ones that's been infiltrated. Y'all know that? Y'all didn't come from Africa. You indigenous to the lands of America. You think you come from Africa, but some of y'all did because y'all were infiltrated, just like we was infiltrated. But we actually brothers, you know, but even though we brothers, y'all making a mistake by coming over here in your brother's land, because we all had our own territories. And when you cross that line, brothers are not, you know, you got handled. And that's what y'all done did. Y'all done came into this America, okay, where we dwell predominantly, and, you know, didn't just build it up. We were here, and this is our land. And y'all came in here disrespecting us, and that's what y'all doing. And so y'all gonna feel the wrath and the karma of that. Y'all ain't seen what's happening to everybody that's coming into America, North America, disrespecting the so-called black Americans. Y'all ain't watching what's happening. It's karma. Because y'all are foul. What you doing? And it don't work nowhere on this earth. Those are universal laws y'all break. How you gonna come in somebody's space talking about they ain't got no culture, talking down to them and just crazy? Man, please. I see things. Who's next?
Bye.